Thing to smile about. He's sponsored by Chick-fil-A of Greater Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky.
Well, how about this? One of the oldest fossil clubs in America operates right here in the Queen City. And the Cincinnati Dry Dredgers, they want to find interesting fossils and help the public develop a love of paleontology. Take a look.
Does anyone not have a field trip guide? Okay, that's good. We're here on a field expedition to go ahead and help some of our members find fossils out in the field. There's other paleontology groups across the country, but one of the things we emphasize is actually going out in the field to find things.
To me, finding 450 million-year-old fossils is more exciting than finding dinosaur bones, which are a lot younger.
So what we're trying to do is we're just trying to get folks out here to come and collect fossils as part of the Dry Dredgers, just to get them outside, get them learning about the fossils that can be found here in the Cincinnatian region.
My 5-year-old, he loves dinosaurs and fossils. We went to the Children's Museum. He saw everything there. And I was like, well, what do we do next? So I just started Googling and found these guys, the oldest continuous running fossil club. I was like, we gotta do that.
460 million years ago, this area was a shallow inland ocean, splitting the U.S. continent in half. The Ordovician period is known as the explosion of life. There were more fossils and species created during that period of time in the Earth's history. This is before the dinosaurs ever showed up.
I think they won't ever forget this. Actually, my 5-year-old, he, on a weekly basis, weekly, he asks me, Dad, when I grow up and become a paleontologist, you'll come and do it with me too. And I'm like, oh yeah.
One of the things is when you're exposed to these things early, that's where the scientific knowledge starts to grow, and as children get older, some of them, not everyone, but some of them retain the interest in that and continue to pursue. We've had members in our group start out as young kids that are now professors, museum directors, and so forth, so it's not unusual to see that happen.
Caleb's been a member of the Dry Dredgers for a few years now, but he just absolutely loves fossil hunting, so he's been anxious to get to one of these field trips.
That's a really nice bryozoan fossil. I feel like we should learn about what lived millions of years ago.
I found a fossil about 450 million years old. I mean, how often do you get to hold something that old in your hand? I mean, it's just, it's pretty incredible. Just look around you, and all those things you think are just rocks, they're full of fossils that are twice as old as dinosaur bones, and it's all out there. It's completely free. It's something you can do as a family, you can do by yourself. It's a wonderful hobby.
And they'll definitely never forget it. I won't forget it.
That actually seems like a lot of fun,
Well, it's interesting that she said, I'd rather find these than dinosaur bones because dinosaur bones are newer. Yeah. Like, wait, what? There's something older than dinosaur bones? Like, that's pretty fascinating that you can find things like that. I remember I went to one of these things, it was in Anderson Township, where they were digging for things, and it's like, you have to have an eye for that because, like she said, I would think it's just
a rock. Right, and how many times
know.
have you picked up a rock? But it's interesting, and it could be like some cool fossil from long ago, and that, with your group, they can tell you what it is.
Exactly.